Usually when you ask for Mr. Sandman to bring you dreams, you don't expect to have to deal with alien cats from another dimension that can just kill you, or animated mountains which can kill you, or cannibals, or honestly, there's a lot of horrible things in the Dreamlands. I don't think I would ever want to go there personally, but it looks like we have to. Oh no, we're penetrating the wall of sleep. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to Lore Ramblings. The name is Adam.
I'm Imsit, and we'll be looking at Lovecraft's Dreamlands,
We
which is
should
a
specify since this is actually one of the earlier Chaosium splats because they actually did an independent RPG, I think, originally with Dreamlands. This is the 5th edition version, which I think is the most recent iteration of Dreamlands.
perhaps. I know they're on 7th edition.
There's
They
a
might have
3rd
done something
edition,
new.
and I know there's a 2nd edition of Dreamlands. Dreamland is quite a big thing in the H.P. Lovecraft novels. Seriously, he has an entire segment called the Dream Cycle, which is actually it is one of the more obscure things he's done, mainly because it's not as easily adaptable. It's to the point where even I don't really know much about it, mainly because I bounced off when I was reading I think it was the Journal of Randolph Carter or whatever it was called. No, Quest for Kadath or something.
The Dream Crest of Unknown Kadath.
Yeah,
That's, I think, the most famous one that
I didn't
refers
really
to the
like it. It
Dreamlands.
was it was weird, but I bounced off it when I was not all the way through it, and I don't remember too much from it. I do know at one point he gets ambushed by alien cats. I remember that. It's because there's not really a plot. It's like dreams, you know what I mean?
Which I guess is interesting for Lovecraft.
As for the cover, I don't like this cover as much as the old 80s one, which has Carter kind of staring at a weird city. But I do like the choice of what seems to be an attempt at mimicking a Spanish style galleon, but with unicorn horn masts.
It,
It's just a little riotous and weird.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that you look at this, you show it to somebody, and you tell them this is Lovecraftian, they wouldn't believe you for a second.
They would think this has to be some fantasy series that we've never heard about. Hello there, NDR. Let's see what drugs they use for this. No drugs. This is just Howard writing his dreams. This is his dream journal. So here's
Should
how
it
you
be more
role play.
nightmarish?
There's nightmares in it, quite a bit. The thing about the Dreamlands, from what I remember, is that it's not necessarily always horrifying. The Dreamlands are extremely powerful, and this is actually, oh god, the metaphysics of H.P. Lovecraft. The Lovecraft universe, the Dreamlands are the only reason that makes Earth slightly more important than it would actually be. Basically, in an uncaring cosmos, Earth has value by comparison to other places in the worlds and between spaces because it's one of the easiest points to access the Dreamlands. That's basically the big reason that Cthulhu came down, if I remember right. Did this other RPG have anything to do with Conan or Elric of Melniboné? Possibly.
Melniboné.
Melniboné?
Melniboné.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna botch it so bad. That's the series that invented the albino silver-haired guy with the dragons, right?
Yep, from
Ah.
good old Michael Moorcock, who also created the concept of chaos that is used in 40K.
And as for Conan, I'm not surprised because, well, Ron Howard was a close friend with Lovecraft and vice versa. To the point Lovecraft actually tried to talk him out of committing to ending it when his mother was dying.
Oh, I did not know that about Lovecraft.
He tried to walk him back, but it was just too late. He was committed to it because in Howard's own words, she was the only thing keeping me on this earth.
Oh, that brings honestly a new perspective on Lovecraft.
Well, yeah, he had some weird opinions, and definitely in his earlier years, he did have some very very strong xenophobic flavors, and he was terrified of going insane. Absolutely terrified of going insane. But as mentioned, once he married once he married his Jewish wife, he started mellowing out.
Who knew that the love of a good Jewish woman can change a person?
But yeah, there's the table of contents which covers, well, the different regions of the areas. Again, this is going to be completely new for me as well, since,
And I think we should start with the author's introduction from Sandy Peterson,
well,
who I would probably
yeah,
say is the Lovecraft of Call of Cthulhu, in the
Sandy
sense of
Peterson is big, one of the two giants, I would say, of Chaosium. The other being Greg Stafford.
so as Peterson points out here, yeah, these stories are more fantasy than horror, and there's vague descriptions of cities, peoples, and places. The dreamlands themselves are ethereal and haunting. There's this unearthly beauty. There
Places
is
are not
cosmic
always
terror.
exactly where they are. In the Dreamlands, it's more suggestions. There's a reason why in the more horror stories that Lovecraft would do. In particular, I always think of the At the Mountains of Madness bit where the geologist, the main character, Dr. Dyer, stares at the mountains and the plateau that the great old one city was built on and says, I think we finally see what the plateau of Lang actually was, for after all, mankind's memories are older than we think. Back when things that were not mankind walked among us. It is not a place, it is an idea. That's how the dreamlands kind of work. It is the suggestion of ideas. It is the suggestion of place.
Hmm.
Angel Arroyo actually is curious on whether or not you could use the Dreamlands for Changeling the Dreaming as some inspirational material for it. I would say yes, because remember, they did on occasion, White Wolf did on occasion reference Lovecraft, and there is actually, I believe, a type of sorcery tradition where you actually worship the old ones.
Yeah, I believe that's one of the Nephondics.
Not just the Nephondics. There's a book called Sorcerer, which also includes World of Darkness has several books that cover psychic phenomenon and hedge magic. This is one of the big ones besides Hunter's Hunted.
Ah, but let's go now into how to access the Dreamlands.
Well, before then, so the most famous of the Dream Cycle would have to be the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath, which I it's one of the few Lovecraft books I bounced off of pretty hard. And a lot of that is because a lot of things happen. It's basically things happen and you don't know why. It's to the point where anytime it has been attempted to be reprised or actually turned into a story, they have to add a lot of details to it because it happens.
You know, honestly, I think it would be interesting if you did that AI generated.
You probably could. I wonder how hard you would hallucinate, how ChatGPT would hallucinate if you tried to force it to write about the Dreamlands.
Hmm.
But other books he wrote included Beyond the Wall of Sleep, which is another one I did try to read. I don't remember that one too well. The Cats of Ulthar, which I think is my favorite out of the Dream Cycle, and it's the only one that I remember pretty well. The Doom That Came to Sarnath, which is another one. Hypnos, which that was kind of just, I think that's literally one of the last things he wrote, and it's kind of sparse. The Quest for Iranon, Polaris, there's a bunch of things. So is it like the Deep Umbra and the Dreaming combined? Kind of. We'll get into it. So we have to figure
So
out
as
how the walls of sleep work.
as they say, the Dreamlands are in a sense an idea formed by men. The myths, legends, memories, sort of all of that being congealed into this idea.
A man dies easily. The idea does not. And the Dreamlands are essentially, in a way, it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a kind of take on the tapestry. I think of it more a bit like Mage, where it is the ideas of old. In the Dreamlands,
And
you would find an example for say, of the city of Z, the lost legendary South American city, because it was an idea that to this day still gets occasionally thought of. Solomon's Mines, you might be able to find that down there too, along with potentially some demonic rituals that the king did.
of course
That would
from
be the sort of
civilizations
things.
long forgotten.
The equivalent of Shangri-La, for example, which is closest in comparison to Leng, or one of the big cities of Leng.
But how to get there?
The most common is you essentially have to have the bad luck of finding the 70 steps of light slumber to the cavern of flames. During a dream, basically, it's a random chance. Occasionally, you can have a really fucking weird dream where you have to go downstairs. And this is one of the ways in. And keepers who need to have an investigator descend the stairs and enter the dreamland should feel free to move the stairs about and have them continuously appear in their dreams. Because again, it's a dream. Dreams are ephemeral. They're not. The places are there, but they're not solid. It is not like. It is not of. But if you do go down those steps, you run into the cavern temple of the priest Nasht and Kamanta.
Speaking of stumbling, are is anyone able to see our what we're reading on the screen?
Oh, did I accidentally botch it? 1 second. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Thank you for catching me on that. I thought I hit the hotkey. There we go.
Because
Into
you
the
do need to see
dreamlands.
these. You do need to see these priests.
You do, but I also want to go back up since I did describe. I do like the cover. You see a
There we go.
merman basically going after a Spanish galleon. I really like that. But yeah, the priests are definitely something. Here they are. Look at their drip. By the way, their hats kind of mimic one of the crowns of Egypt.
I don't know. They seem aquatic as well.
There's a bit of a fish element to them, yeah. But these are the two priests that'll greet you if you go down the stairs. The second way to get into the dreamlands is sometimes you dream too deeply and you land on a cliff edge. And when you get to this cliff edge, you have to essentially choose to jump. And when you do, that's how you can get to the dreamlands. And don't worry about falling because it's a dream. As long as you don't think about it, you'll land safely. The last is the white ship. This is where you basically get on the boat and actually, you know what I just realized that's really freaking interesting?
What?
The white ship goes over to the water and then you have to choose to go onto it. You know what also had a white ship beckon the hero to a new land? Did
What?
J.R.R. Tolkien actually reference this with the leaving of Frodo for Middle Earth? Did they
I
actually
don't
do that?
know.
Because
I
this
don't.
came before. This came before Lord of the Rings.
Although maybe he was also connecting to something in the pop culture or collective unconscious.
Possibly. I mean, this isn't exactly new. It's just I thought it was interesting when I read about the White Ship.
But that could be an interesting idea. Frodo and all the elves are in the Dreamlands.
You know, you're joking, but remember the Dreamlands are dreams of places and ideas of mankind.
Oh no.
Which means if you really want to shit up Lovecraft, go on. Turn the Dreamlands into the adventures of Winnie the Pooh that you really want it to be. Where you make this horrible multi-crossover slop shit fest. However, since it's dream based, you're gonna have to turn it into some really weird, fucked up, eldritch high fantasy. Because again, dreams are not exactly rational. Case in point, I remember one of the more weird dreams I remember involved me being on a train where, for whatever reason, the cart had hot tubs in it. And for their choice of dinner were spiders that you had to eat while alive. I have no
Ah, that
idea why this dream was a thing I had, but it was. And that could be something you could have in the Dreamlands. The Orient Express from Hell.
Let's see, other ways to get into dreaming. Um, Al-Hazred talked about egg-like items called the crystallizations of dreams. I guess you,
Essentially, this is how the mad Arab Abdul al-Hazred al-Azif, the guy who wrote the Necronomicon, was able to write the Necronomicon. He entered the Dreamlands and it kind of broke his brain, but he was allowed to learn a lot of things from it. This is
is the
also why
Himalayan.
he thinks that the Shoggoths were never something that
uh,
actually came to Earth.
So what I can guess, this is the Himalayan pink salt lamps of Lovecraft.
This is taking galaxy gas while being asleep. Winnie the Pooh
And the
punches
others,
Lovecraftian horrors in the face. I mean, he has fought like eldritch horrors beyond our comprehension at least once or twice.
oh, oh, Robin, you can easily defeat Cthulhu.
Oh, bother. That which is dead can forever lie, but in strange eons even death can't die, Piglet.
Hmm.
Oh, God.
Oh no, I do like dreams of the. If investigators are physically present in the dreamlands, it is possible for them to re-enter the dreamlands through normal dream routes.
Basically, once you're there, you're more likely to be able to return to it, because you know the ways now. It is
No, no,
beckoned
this
you.
no, this is if you sleep in the dreamlands, you can also enter the dreamlands.
Here's another fun thing. If you use the crystallizers, though, there is a bad side effect of it. There is a guardian that hunts them, and if you use them too often, it will catch you. Just you straight up get eaten by a giant slore.
There are also physical ways to enter the dreamlands. You stumble across them in forgotten crypts, in the Enchanted Wood, the Plateau of Lang, the Vaults of Zin,
You actually mentioned the Plateau of
Hyperborea.
Lang, and here's one of the funniest things about that. I actually remember someone coming up with a really funny, like, short fan fiction explanation for the Mountains of Madness, because the sequel to it, the Starkweather Moor Expedition, they go, and they called Dyer a fucking hack fraud because all it is was just a bunch of fucking low-lying glaciers of shit of no value because they accidentally walked to the Dreamlands.
The other place you can enter the dreamlands, Western Oklahoma.
Or Kansas. Actually, an unholy love child of the Wizard of Oz in this would work pretty well.
Yeah, and here, Sleep Squared.
Yeah, you can actually find your body. You could actually kill yourself in the Dreamland.
And then, of course, other artifacts of waking, spells of wakening.
There's a
Let's
lot of
see.
options.
Yeah, who can enter?
Also,
Um,
the artifacts of waking, there are those. There's the Silver Key, for example, which I believe is most referenced in the Dreams of the Witch House.
it seems that I guess anyone can, but um, Randolph Carter lost his ability to enter the Dreamlands when he turned 30. So I guess those who still believe in, in wonder and whimsy.
Which actually could, if you wish to, make it a Changeling the Dreaming scenario where the Dreamlands are Avalon, and those with with enough whimsy can enter here. Which actually might not be a bad way to play Changeling the Dreaming. You just got to get rid
Yeah.
of the weird. Dreaming has some weird and horrible connotations because of how aging works in it.
So yeah, if you know modern sciences, it's going to be harder if you enter the Dreamlands.
Because your brain tries to rationalize it and you can't walk the path.
Dreamless technology is not that of the waking world. They resemble Earth, but Earth centuries pass.
Again,
And they think that,
it's the racial memory of man, the Jungian superconsciousness of eons before. Which is why you can run
but
into a variety of things that you don't want to, like IREM back when it was.
but then what I would do is if you play this in further in the past, your modern technology still can't apply. It says about the process takes about 500 years, so basically, if you're in the 1500s, say goodbye to gunpowder.
Yep. As for bringing
Now,
clothing and equipment, it's not that of the waking world. They resemble Earth. You already mentioned it.
yeah.
Apologies.
Next, though, time. So, space is warped and time is bendable.
Well, again, if you actually ever remember your dreams or lucid dreams, you realize that they are longer and shorter than you think.
Because you literally have only left I guess 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Well, in reality
If you go to,
space,
if you go to sleep, if you enter the dreamland physically, then time applies.
logic, what dat? The average dreamlander. Yeah, that's pretty correct, also.
But then we get the nightmare effects table.
Because the thing about dreams are they are both wondrous but horrifying, and this is why the dreamlands aren't exactly the kindest place in the world.
Oh, this one's horrifying. The investigator wakes, but no longer knows whether he's awake or dreaming. You need to roll until a successful amount of time, or roll on a successful psychoanalysis roll.
Essentially, oh wow, I just realized that this book did Inception before Inception. No, seriously, that's Inception.
That it? Yeah. Match sand loss against the investor's condition. He suffers a. If it's overcome, you wake up and suffer a minor coronary arrest.
Yep, match the sanity loss against the investigator's con on the resistance table. Oh yeah, that's the 9. Any appropriate effect chosen by the keeper. In general, if the investigator's body is afflicted, they should be forced awake. If only his dreamland's body is affected, you should have the opportunity to relieve any problem. And the way sanity gain and loss works is very much like Call of Cthulhu. The means of losing sanity are the same as in the
Mm.
waking world, but the effects of sanity loss are not.
Though, what's interesting is that, yeah, if the effects of sanity, instead of going insane, you suffer that nightmare effect. Also, you can choose to use your dreaming skill to restore hit points at the cost of 1d3 magic points.
Also, nightmares replace your temporary and indefinite insanity. So if you're kind of already crazy when you enter here, you can replace your crazy with a different type of crazy.
And then exiting, same way, physical paths or
No, you
waking
forget the
up.
worst part. A character who loses all of their sanity is transformed into a reflection that the keeper can think of the experiences that they've had. For example, a person who is associated with ghouls becomes one. So you can just turn
Mm.
into a gibbering pile of flesh.
But now that we're able to enter it, how is it described? As Lovecraft describes it,
Yeah, we're not
or as
telling you how
much
to
as we
exit
can
the dreamland.
understand,
You're going to have to try to figure it out yourself.
well, I mean, it's the same, just walk back out the same way, or wake up.
As for how Lovecraft presented his dream worlds,
So he would describe the surroundings of the central dreamlands, painting these places in solar hues of red, purple, yellow, orange to imply warmth and coziness. Talking
as
about the
described, they call it Dunsanian, which is an old style of art, an old style of
yeah,
like color. I think it's like color
yeah,
coordination theory.
yeah. Speaks of beautiful scenes, singing fountains, city bathed in light, a very gentle. But then in the clearer regions, they're represented with the lunar, I guess, cooler colors of whites, grays, blacks, and ice blues, such as the Plateau of Lang, the dark and uninviting streets of Dilath Len. They seem more rougher, have dark basalt filled with more odd visitors.
It's both cooler and darker. Instead of lights, it's darkness, pitch black basalt,
It is a
iron hard
sensation.
rock.
It is the atmosphere is that of theme rather than sense. Since what sense can you have in a dreaming world?
There's also the usage of the fates and descriptions, the offness of the feature, like the wide mouth merchants bug-eyed or the bug-eyed watchers, that sort of thing.
Or they bring up Gary Myers, his work of sort of that there may be menace lying underneath the surface,
Well,
and
the
that
House of the
anything can be
Worm is
deceiving.
House of the Worm is part of like the more modern take. Basically, it's the next generation of Lovecraft style work.
Yeah.
I
Brian
remember that.
Lumley gave it more of a swords and sorcery feel. So definitely one of the things, there is a fantasy element to it.
It
If you're going into this, it's not going to be a hard-boiled investigation or dark and terrible nightmare
well, no,
mystery.
it
Well,
has
mystery.
that.
It
It
has
has
that.
the nightmare, but it's more. Imagine this: you are an antiquarian, and all of a sudden you find yourself upon a cliff, and the whispers in Old Arabic guide you down to fall, and you see as the clouds part a city of gold hues flowing through a river valley that is just lovely, heartwarm greens and all this sort of things. It looks like something you'd see in a artistic rendition of an earlier version of the Mughal Empire. That's the sort of stuff that you get. And imagine this. It's like part travelogue. It's part 18th century, 19th century travelogue, part white adventure, and part swashbuckling adventure, and also one part. Here's where the bad things happen and you get eaten alive. It's really weird, and you don't expect this with Lovecraft. This is one of the things that makes the dream cycle so interesting. And as for the people of Dream, here's two different examples.
These could be like monstrous people, but other times they could be of different ethnicities and societies that sound strange, but are easily understood.
Because it's the suggestion of racial memory. So when I say the equivalent of a Mughal, it'd be a fantastical version of them, where they're just it is mountains and cities of pure gold, literally made of pure gold, and everything is
Oh, the
bedecked in spices, and they're wearing rich, insanely hued colors.
the other fun thing is if you were to cast regular spells in the Dreamlands, they're at minimum sand loss.
Because it's dreams. You're in a dream world. Logic doesn't apply here.
And the other thing is that they really can't use the dreaming skill because this is their reality.
I believe there has at least been one occasion in the dream cycle where a dream creature escaped, because it does happen occasionally.
Or did they dream?
Who knows?
They also have something here on page 19 that is probably one of the most horrifying things I could think of. An unfortunate investigator has his brain removed and taken to Yuggoth by the Migo, is still capable of sleeping, and could enter the Yuggothian dream realm.
Yeah, here's the thing. There are other dream realms, and I don't know if they have a map of the Dreamlands, but Yuggoth is available. You can get there. You can also just go to the Star Algol and just die, because it's a writhing mass of death. The Dreamlands are fucked. Let's just say the Dreamlands are fucked, and this is like your one chance to avoid being stuck in a brain forever. Anyway, it then goes into the dream quest of Randolph Carter, who is the main point of view for most of it. In his dreams, Randolph Carter had seen cities more marvelous than any he had known. He prayed to the gods to reveal to him the way to the city, but his vision stopped. He resolved to seek them out in their abode upon Kadath and confront them, which leads to the, well, dream quest to Lost Kadath, Unknown Kadath.
And yeah, it's talking about the stuff that is seen in that story. Talk about Nasht Kalantha,
It's a
the
summary of the
homeland of the
story.
Zoogs, which it's free. He didn't Lovecraft didn't copyright any of his stuff. It's free to look up online.
Well, no, it might have been copywritten, but it expired because he didn't fight too hard for it because it was just stuff he sold for pulp.
Hmm.
But you can actually just look up if you really want to. You can look up Dream Cycle. There's actually an entire depository online that you can just find and read all of Lovecraft's stuff. That's actually what I've done. It's just like he does do a decent amount of work. I will say he is very prone to abusing purple prose. He's very prone to abusing purple prose, and he is very much prone to trying to. He'll say it's undescribable, but then he'll describe it. It's completely undescribable. It then gives vivid descriptions of what it best looks like. Okay. But this is the summary of his little glorious adventure, which, yes, cats, by the way. Here's the
Well, cats
interesting.
from Earth and from Saturn.
Yeah, they're from Saturn. But the reason this is a thing is Lovecraft actually loved cats so much. He loved cats so fucking much that they have a special niche in his setting, in his universe, in that
Well, funny enough,
they're sort of a guardian of your dreams and sanity. It's really weird.
I'm just going through here. Funny enough, Carter meets the thing in the yellow mask.
Yes, he does, which is his love letter
Ex
to Ambrose Pierce.
Except no, it is not the King in Yellow. It is a form of Nyarlathotep,
Yep,
which I have to think makes the actual King in Yellow so bitter.
not really. So the thing that you're thinking of is Hastur and the King in Yellow were adopted by other writers. Lovecraft himself really didn't do anything with them because it was just borrowed from Ambrose Pierce and like another writer from before their time. Like to give you an idea, the King in Yellow and Hastur being linked like that, that wasn't even a thing
That's
until later on.
that was a derelict thing.
Yeah.
But no, I like the idea of it's like how dare he gets followers and all of mine go insane.
Oh, the thing
I'm
is,
I'm
he
here in
just fucks with them.
Carcosa. I'm here. I'm on. It's a dead world.
What
I've
can I
got
say?
nothing,
What can I say? Humans like you if you fuck with them.
and I do, and they all go insane or they turn to slurry.
Get good.
You schmuck. Really, you got to steal the one thing I'm known for: yellow. The color yellow.
I steal faces all the time. Yours isn't any different, buddy.
Really? What about this face? Takes the mask off.
And then Nyarlathotep loses the yellow robes, saying, "You win this round, weird man who has no friends."
I do actually really like Nyarlathotep as just the prankster.
I mean, he just doesn't give a shit. He's like mildly malicious, but in the sense that it's like it's just a prank, bro. I made a pharaoh worship the haunter in the dark and eat human flesh, and was responsible for the cannibalism stele. It's just a prank, bro.
But on page 46, we do get a nice map
By the way, if
of
you're
the
wondering,
world.
cats are intelligent and sapient. So, legitimately, if you ever wanted to do a really stupid take on warriors, that what is it? That the young, hard, gritty animal stories about the cats, you could do it here. You could totally do warriors here. It's basically like a girl's version of Redwall, only they're actually cats. The closest spiritual equivalent to that nowadays would be not even then, because I don't. That's still old. Guardians of Gahul, which is the owl one, which actually got a movie made by Zack Snyder.
Oh, was it completely edgy?
No, it was like three of the books combined in one, and it was a horrible idea to ever make it into a movie. But hey, fuck it, the quest for more money. Am I right?
I mean, did it include um, grotesque usage of slow-mo?
Yes, and they also had owls armed with like swords and helmets, and it was really fucking goofy. But that happens in the books, so like
Eh.
whatever.
So,
But they did speed run. Basically, if you're wondering, the movie, from what I remember, is like the first 4 or 3 books spliced into one fucking movie. In fairness, you could
so
cut out a lot from those books because a lot of it's
yeah.
just the owls vomiting and shitting.
Moving on. So
It's for kids,
the
remember?
the surface world is divided up into several separate areas: the north, the east, the west, Oriab, the seas, and the moon.
Yeah, the moon is its own entity and place you can go to. It's pretty great.
So you have in the east Mount Aran,
How far
which
did
is
you
well a
skip, by
mountain.
the way?
Page 46.
Thank you, because this is a very long travelogue of what Randolph Carter did.
Yep.
So I
And
wasn't sure
on
how far you went ahead.
the lower slopes of Iran are covered in ginkgo trees, and they are not harvested, for the fruit would never grow back. The peak of Iran is forbidden for men to climb. It's generally thought this is because the gods sometimes come to dance on top of the peaks, but it is not so, for the gods do not come to Mount Iran as they do other peaks. They fear Mount Iran, as there lives a man who has no name, and he carves sculptures into the ice, sculptures of those who climb the peak and encounter him, always in pairs. He is friendly enough if encountered, and will say that his father and his father before him were making ice statues here atop Mount Iran. They are very lifelike, and each pair has one relaxation and one fear. It
Basically,
looks,
the way this guy works is people who just want to die come to him.
yeah, because all of these people are are people from the residents of Uth Nagari who have wanted to die.
Also, you like how the moon is legitimately just one of the places you can walk on. You literally can just walk to it.
If you can do it in Glorantha, you should do it here.
It's pretty great.
Celephus though is a city, is created from King Karanis, Earth's greatest dreamer.
All the lands of Uthnar is timeless, similar to Sona Nile, but in Sona Nile, one simply escapes the ravages of aging. In Uthnar everything is timeless. Nothing crumbles, the seasons are unchanging. They do not grow old or die. You can return to Uthnar after being away for many years. And also,
And
here's
then
some more. Here's what I. Is this?
the city of
This is
Celephus,
Celephas,
and
yep.
then a nice two-page spread detailing all the locations.
Oh no, this
In a
isn't
very
all the. This is
fan,
not all the locations. This doesn't even have
well,
the
yeah,
underworld, buddy.
in a very fantasy-esque style.
There's actually some
I
real.
want,
This is actually a lot more restrictive than some of the crazier maps I've seen of the
like
Dreamlands.
on one side, you see the good old yellow sign, which have you seen it? On with all the monstrous Lovecraftian eyes and oozing flesh, and on the other side, I'd say the much more fantasy Lovecraftian horror of sprites, pixies, and an elder sign, in fact.
If you're wondering, there's a really cool map of the Dreamlands you can find if you look online, which actually does have the king in yellow as like the guy holding the map and like the compass for the Dreamlands. It's pretty great. But yeah, there's the lands of Lomar, the Cold Waste, Kar, Nar.
And in Cellophase, things here may be changed, but once set they remain. So flowers neither wither, but they do not gain new growth. Wounds do not heal except for by magic, and children can't be born because
It's timeless, completely timeless.
though food can be cooked.
Anything which requires time as the active force cannot take place here.
Um,
Literally, if something
mm,
takes time to do, you can't do it here. Oh my god. He also rules the island of Seranian, and basically these are one of the six big kingdoms.
and he
Here,
resides in Cornwall by the sea, which is interesting for an ancient man to know that, because I don't think Cornwall would have existed around his time.
remember, it's memories of other people.
Mm.
In this case, an old Norman abbey can be found, as well as a Cornish fishing village, because Karanis is actually from Cornwall.
Oh,
He is actually a medieval he was like a medieval dude, if I remember right.
mm. You've got places like Health's Clegg, a rundown, dingy city of twisted streets and decaying houses, where there
Although
are
along
temples
its
to
street of the
various.
Pantheon are many temples to various disreputable gods, which most deny. There is no law. There's the Temple of Unattainable Desires. This squat structure is built of onyx with a small gate of iron, fashioned to look like a mass of twisted and intermingled serpents. Like the other temples of the street, the entrance to this one is lit by small lanterns on either side, which is baleful and red. No one knows who built this place, and it has no priests. Yet it has stood for as long as any of the denizens of the city can remember. And only one, the witch Ska, knows what lies beyond that gate.
There's Alec one of the six kingdoms. It is a city-state, rich and powerful. The base of the cliffs is a huge cavernous space, which is the harbor. All those who enter the city must enter this place first. It is rumored the city comes from the Nori, who retrieve all the loot from the sunken vessels for the king.
I think the Nori are the equivalent of like mermaids and stuff, if I recall.
Yep. Much like an iceberg, most of Ilkavad lies out of sight.
Oh no, the
Inside the
bearded Nori. They're dwarfs. They're actually
dwarves.
just dwarfs.
And like while I'm reading this, I get the feeling like, yeah, this is generic fantasy twisted by a Lovecraftian vision. Like a rich city state, but instead it's described as filled with maze-like structure. Makes up the foundations of the upper city.
What
Where
if
the
I told
cavern
you? What if I told you that a lot of this was because of the Lovecraft circle expanding on the dream cycle every now and again?
would make a lot of sense.
I don't know who made what, but I think this is an actual city that you can find in some of the other novelizations involving this sort of place.
So actually, you were right with the Nori. They're not dwarves though. They are bearded merfolk.
Oh, I was kind of right and kind of wrong. Neat.
Let's see. Monastery of Youth with yellow-skulled monks.
They make no distinction between good or evil, revering all power equally. They have shrines to Nitisi and Nyarlathotep, and they observe the rites of Azathoth and Ariel. Nitivash, which is just a small little
Mhm.
village. The Tanarian Hills. The
This
north.
is all. Yeah.
Alohazar, a Chocho city hidden deep in the
Oh,
plateau of Leng.
oh no.
What,
Oh,
you didn't know that there were Chocho in the Dreamlands? Some of them escaped there and stay there now.
oh, that's not good.
The north is probably the most dangerous region if you're wondering of the Dreamlands. Do you
With
want to know
the
why?
because they got the Castle of the Great Ones.
No, it's because this is where Kadath of the Cold Wastes is. And
Well, that makes sense.
Kadath, oh no, you don't understand. Kadath is where the old ones occasionally show up to hold court. Like the great beings of power that break reality. This is
I
where they
think I,
hold court occasionally.
I think I just shat myself.
Oh yeah, this book is really fun right now, Sublime Mind. I like that this is kind of a weird way to play Call of Cthulhu. It's almost like
Yeah.
RuneQuest on
Well,
drugs, and I love it.
no, that's just regular RuneQuest.
It's RuneQuest on antipsychotics.
Uh, I do like this Great Barrier Peak, and at the bottom, the Pit of Unknown Things.
Well, yeah, the Pit of Great. Oh, by the way, the best part, you know what dulls are?
Giant worms?
They're giant worms that can eat entire planets as part of their life cycle.
Oh,
It
wow.
it is said that there is one on Earth.
Growing, I presume.
Yep. But yeah, Kadath in the Cold Waste is basically, if you refer to Kadath in the Cold Waste in the lands of Lovecraft at all, you're in the equivalent of super hell. The Cold
I
Wastes
don't,
are some of the worst places to be. Mainly because it's not just the pit of unknown things. Huge nameless things prowl these wastes, and it's a land of eternal night. Time does not exist here. And if you're wondering what Lomar is, it was the civilization that was from here before it went to shit. I now announce to the stand the Honorable Punch and Judy. All right.
Let's
Also,
see.
the House of
Yeah,
the Worm, which is because they reference this guy, it makes sense that they would include this.
where the old man of whom no one likes to speak lives.
Yeah.
It's just a crotchety old man.
Kinda, yeah, kinda no. There's also Inquanok, which is the last place in the north that's relatively settled. Mainly, like I
Here
said,
the
Lomar used to have people. That's not the case really anymore.
and of course there's the priests of the Veiled King. They have a great ritual where they return to their temple in unseen passages. There are a few who hint that the priests are less than human, and any person viewing the procession of the priests loses 0 to 1 sanity.
It's actually thought that the procession of weird hooded, like squibbly things in The Haunter in the Dark was the procession of priests from Inquanok. It could also be a reference to the inhuman things that worshipped Sathagua.
And then yep, Kadath and the Cold Waste.
I've mentioned them. Also, the people of Inquanok have yaks, and they ride yak chariots. It's pretty great. Also,
And the
Kadath
land
in
of
the Cold Wastes is also canonical to the world of A Song of Ice and Fire.
oh no.
Yeah, Kadath's there too, as well as Carcosa. Remember, Carcosa's also there.
Well, you referring to the Yellow Emperor or just
That's where the Yellow Emperor holds his court, by the way, in that setting.
hmm. And then there's the land of Lomar.
Lomar used to be inhabited, but it's basically Lomar used to not actually be in the Dreamlands.
But now it is.
Basically, Lomar was. It's like Hyperborea. When the Ice Age came, it was drowned in it. And you know what I just realized now that I think about it? Final Fantasy X kind of borrows from this a bit, because Xanarkin's also a dream state.
No, everything is connected.
I actually really like this book. I like where this is
Yeah.
going. Because, like I said, the dream cycle is kind of a pain in the ass to reach straight. I've tried. It's a bit rough at places, but it's interesting.
But then we get to know what the pit of unknown things are. Here resides Abath. Wait, Ab-
Abhoth. Oh God, I forget what that one
oh
is.
no, it's not Abeloth, is it?
No,
It's not a corruption of Abeloth.
no. It's bad though. I forget. Oh, I remember what Abhoth is. It is the demiurge.
The
As it
Demiurge?
as in it is rumored that this is where all that the Abhoth is essentially a dark dream reflection of Ubbo Sathla, the great protoplasmic creator of all life that the elder things use to master the creation of living.
Oh,
It
it makes sense why it
it
goes
is
towards
it
like a
is
whole.
it is destined to create all life on Earth, and it is destined to eat all life on Earth when it returns. And it
And
is
there's a
also Abhoth, if I recall correctly, part of the Sumerian cycle. I think Howard used him. It's
hmm.
either Howard or someone who did the Hyperborean Age. I forget the guy who wrote those.
Then there's a small mining town named Urg,
There's nothing really
like the name.
interesting there. It's just a fun shitpost name.
No. Then we have Oriab. It's an island with a small but thriving civilization. Barna in the north, and Andahad in the south. Andahad is a small city. The waters are filled with unique aquatic life, and being the southernmost outpost civilization in the Dreamlands.
The Accursed Valley, stretching away to the south of Mountain Granic, is a blasted land without end. The greatest feature is a valley of black lava unmarred by the hand of man. This is the Accursed Valley, which marks the spot where the wrath of the Great Ones was vented upon this land. What conflict that may have occurred here is unknown to all save the gods themselves. It is thought that it might have been a place where the great ones in the outer gods fought for the final right to rule what would Earth be.
Hmm. Then let's see. A Harna made out of porphyry from the wharves to the uppermost terraces of the city proper.
If you're wondering what porphyry is, it's a type of rock that has a purple color. So this entire city is fabulous as fuck.
And let's ruled by a council of elders, seem to have descended from Mount Negranak, which had old trades of lava gathering and carving.
Yep, Baharna is.
Then,
Yep.
but then there's Tirana, which was one of the first settlements on the island, ruled by the Yath Li, who made a dark pact with Nyarlathotep and became an ageless vampire.
Oh yeah, if you're wondering, vampires do exist in Lovecraft. They're not mentioned often though.
Yeah. Now the city has fallen to ruins and its name is forgotten. Which again, one of Nyarlathotep's greatest planks. Hey man, hey, you wanted to live forever.
You want to be
I
an
didn't say
immortal
your
god
city
king?
have to.
And it's like, oh, you wanted to be immortal. You never really specified that you wanted your kingdom to be. Now you're an immortal bum. Suffer.
And
I'm just now envisioning
well,
Nyarlathotep.
she actually, she.
I'm just envisioning though Nyarlathotep being just because of the because of the episode that they did of the dented zone. I'm just envisioning PPP dressed as the crawling chaos.
You see, I'm Mr. Niar Lothotep. It's a, it's an Arabic, or it's an ancient Egyptian name. But no, actually, I've got an idea. He's more like Rod Serling.
He's depicted more. He depicts himself like Rod Sterling, and he calls himself. I am an important investor, my boy. I run the Black Pharaoh investment portfolio.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is like he shows up. It's like he, here in a realm out of sight, out of mind, fantastic tales of unknown proportions.
And
And
I'm not
now,
referring to
and
eat
now here,
for the amount of chips I eat through my blowhole.
no, no, no. I'm thinking as in like Nyarlathotep is just Rod Serling, and he's trying to make ironic tales of you know
I could see that. Yeah, yeah, like a
like
Twilight Zone
it's
introductor.
it's like he comes back to Yathlin in her tomb after like 10,000 years, and here lies a woman who wanted to live forever. But nothing really truly lives forever. And she's like, hey, hey, you bastard, you're in there. Get me out of here. It's like, here, and truly lives forever.
Also, Angel is comparing her to Cain.
Or even,
I wouldn't compare her to Cain. I would compare her more to Troil in that
yeah,
she's kind of rambling and going crazy in the wreckage of this tomb that she built for herself.
he's saying, for the curse of greed is a curse upon all, here in the Dreamlands.
Actually, yeah, you should totally like that. Actually, if you use like the instrumentals and the musical cues from Twilight Zone, it works really well, I think.
But I was just like, as like, people are going mad or real, like at the end of Mountains of Madness, like they were men. Just Rod Serling just appears out of nowhere. That's just near Lothotep.
No, that's actually a
He's
great way to play the character. I actually like the
yeah,
idea that you got. That's them cooking with gas there, actually.
yeah. He's talking to no one though.
No, he's talking. He's talking to the players. Like this is a Call of Cthulhu campaign. You just stare at the players and narrate to them, and you just ignore when the players are trying to talk to him.
Yes.
The characters are talking to him.
But yeah, if you go to her tomb, it's an ancient curse. Let him who disturb Yalath's longest sleep first confess his sins.
Basically, you're fucked if you do. Then there's the Great
Um,
Seas, which the Nori used to ply their trade around, and they used to live throughout most of it, but it's mostly gone.
the basalt pillars of the west in the sea. Uh, and once you go past these pillars, you go into interplanetary space.
Yeah, you can just go into space. It's pretty great. You actually have to. You basically starjammer your way to the Dreamlands. Like, remember the scenario where it's like, oh, well, what happens if you wake up in Yugoth as the brain, but now you're a person again? You have to essentially ride the space rapids to the dreamlands of Earth to escape. It's not fun.
And then you have the Nameless Rock, which is the largest of the outpost of moon beasts on the Dreamlands. And I'm pretty sure what we're looking at here is a moon beast.
It could be. Basically, moon beasts are not something to screw with.
Well, they derive great amusement from the suffering of their victims and will go to great lengths to prolong it as much as possible. Skilled in the arts of torture, it can keep a victim alive for many months.
Oh, also the other thing about the Nori is they're in an eternal death war with the servants of the Thulu, the Thulu spawn, basically.
Ah,
Yeah, the spawns of Cthulhu live in the Dreamlands too. Just have fun with that.
and there's the city of Saronian.
Yeah, the Serenian is
The,
roughly circular and covers about 20 square miles. And let's see, anything interesting here?
um,
Kuranis prefers to stay in his palace here.
oh, oh, do you
Not
know
to stay
who
in his
rules this
belly
place
here.
as well? Karains.
Yeah, he's also here. And they're depicted like English butlers, like Tudorian English butlers. There's also a museum.
Oh, then there's the Sunken City.
Well, there's also the Southern Sea. What moonlight hits its
Yeah,
water in the right way, its depths are revealed to be to the lucky watcher. The basalt pillars of the west, the granite pillars of the south, and the mysterious sunken city lie in the sea, which is at times a very dangerous place.
which, well, if you can gather from the Sunken City and the fact that it's a dream gate and a physical entry point for the deep ones, uh, you wonder what city it is.
And then there's the west. Of all the regions of the Dreamlands, the west seems to be the oldest and most populous. Because there's the Ai River, Akurian, Afarat, the Nanzik Desert, and the Castle of the Sacred Fount. There's a lot of places here.
The
And this is
Cavern of
actually
Flame.
where, if you go down the staircase, you start here in the Caverns of Flame.
Let's see. With this Castle of the Sacred Font, this is where Yib Sil lives,
If
which I
still,
forget which god he is.
I don't remember either. There's a lot of deities.
Is he one of the quote unquote good ones?
Uh,
The patient god. Nope, nope, wait.
I don't remember, but from what I can tell, Yivsil will at least answer questions for you. So by Elder God qualities, he ain't too terrible.
Nope. Gigantic, black winged, and I believe is the mother of the Night Gaunts.
Bad, but
Or
like
it's
Yivsil
the
will at least give you answers to questions.
as Night Gaunts are sucking black milk from its innumerable breasts.
I hope they don't have art of that. Please don't.
They have they have art of the creature though. Don't worry, it looks horrific. Oh, you meant in the book.
Yeah.
I I no, I don't
I,
think
I
so.
love the expression on this dude wearing the turban. This is the face of a man who he has finally found a weapon to beat someone to death with. It's great.
You see, if I stick this in somebody's eye, I get to see their dreams. Would you like to play the dance of the fiddle, my child?
The Enchanted Wood. A new dreamer's first obstacle before attaining the dreamlands. 700 steps to the gate of deeper slumber wind through a gigantic oak tree in the middle of this forest.
Wait, hold on. I like this. Dother, a small deserted city whose brown-skinned peoples keep themselves, as they do not worship great ones. And they keep the deity a secret. Naturally, fearful rumors are rife about their faith, although the people of Dother do not seem to practice human sacrifice or other abhorrent rites.
They do have a variety of items that you wouldn't be able to get, like planks of fine ivory from 6 to 10 feet long and eerie phosphorescent rocks. How they
I
get
like to
these
think it's
items are unknown.
I like to think it's just Abrahamics,
I like
just some lost, forgotten Abrahamic faith.
I'm actually envisioning one of I'm not Abrahamics. I'm envisioning one of the Arabic tribes before the Muslim conquests and the unification of the peninsula. Either that or potentially the Jewish Arabs, because there were Jewish Arabs, the Banu Hakim, I think they were called.
Wait, vampire. This is the second worst thing White Wolf did to the Jews.
I don't remember if they're called Banu Hakim or something else, but there's like something Banu something.
Or Zoroastrian.
That could be also fun.
Yeah. Let's see.
Diethylene is also pretty important in the Dreamlands because of its role as one of the great ports.
Then there's the Enchanted Stone, which is where the Enchanted Forest is.
Yep,
A
it's on a
great stone
giant rock.
slab, 3-foot wide iron ring set in its middle. However, no man now living knows what lies beneath the slab, and even the Zoogs fear to go near it.
Which, if you're wondering, this slab covers the top of the great staircase which spirals down through the Tower of Koth into the kingdom of the Gugs in the vast underworld. If you're wondering what Gugs are, don't worry, we'll learn more about them when we cover the underworld. Let's just say that they're not very fun.
Let's see.
Let's
Yeah, a
say
bunch
that
of other
they like to eat flesh a lot.
the ruins of Golgoth, Hylith, another seaport.
There's also the Great Bleak Mountains, which few explorers have ever returned from. The Great Stone Circle. It's a large circle of
Kad-
standing stones. It's so large that the circle cannot easily be discerned, as the stones themselves push up through the wood's canopy. They were
let's
originally
see.
built by the Gugs, because the Gugs, their chief god was Nyarlathotep and Yog-Sothoth, and they tried to summon Yog-Sothoth into the Dreamlands.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
That's why they are banished to the underworld, if you're curious. And I believe the Gugs are referenced in the underground mound. I think that they were
Hmm.
Gugs. I don't remember.
But continuing to go through this, I do stumble upon uh, Sarnath,
Sarnath
the
is a pretty
fourth
noted city.
city-state in Minar.
Minar is one of the more important lands. The land of Nar is one of the most ancient of the Dreamlands. In earlier times, wandering tribes of Herpmen, which can trace their ancestry back to the dark wanderers of Kupar Nombo, which who fucking knows what that is, found their way into the verdant land of Nar. Basically, this is the equivalent of Egypt in the Dreamlands.
And Sarnath stood for 1,000 years, fell in a single night.
By the way, if you're wondering, yes, that hack fraud Gurm did reference Sarnath. Because remember, there is a city that did the same thing because the Dothraki sacked it. I think it was called Sarnath.
You
Thanks,
can't even do the you
thanks,
can't even do
Georgie.
the Games Workshop thing where they just twist it a little bit.
Well, in fairness, no one knows what happened to Sarnath, just that it was taken and destroyed. Let's see, any other interesting... They talk about the Sky River again, which makes sense. It's one of the longest and most important rivers in the area.
Wait. The Sky River? You mean the Star Wars galaxy?
Skai, Sky River.
Oh, different one.
There's also Sona Nil, which is another place where immortality is a thing. Basically, it is a place outside the Dreamlands proper. It is a realm without time or space, without suffering or death. If you come here, you can remain for many years or even eons and suffer no effects of aging. There is only one limit, being entrance through the Crystal Headlands. Those who attempt to enter from any other direction will encounter a vast and ancient wall. And this is basically just, you can go here once, but never come back. Because it is essentially the gods of that land rejecting you for you rejected perfection. Hey, look, it's Siddharthia. Siddhartha, think about it. Siddharthia is a portmanteau of Siddhartha. Siddhartha is a very noted Hindu word. Hindi word. It's India.
Ah,
It's a portmanteau of like early
well,
India.
well, well, no shit. Famous for its nuts, spices, and fruits, and the natives are vegetarians.
Yep.
Come on.
They
It's
didn't
one of the
even
least.
try with that one.
That might have been a Lovecraft. I feel like that's a Lovecraft thing.
It wasn't.
Maybe to maybe. Oh,
I don't think it was, but it might have been one of his circle that did that. Which, hey, let's be fair, Lovecraft was pretty uncreative sometimes with names occasionally. The Mountains of Madness come to mind.
yep. Um, we do get
Ulthar, we have to
Ulf
cover Ulthar. Ulthar is one of my
Altar. Yeah,
favorites. Look at that cat. Look at him.
the largest of the three towns in the Sky River Valley. The town is built on several hills.
Uh,
Top of it is a temple of the Elder Ones. It is the only such place in the Valley of the Sky. This is where Nasht is revered as a god.
on top of that, you are not allowed to kill any cats in this area.
And the temple library includes the Book of Zari, the Noctic manuscripts, and the seven cryptical books of San.
Let's see. I forget where's that again? I'm trying to look.
Page 73.
Oh, Book of Bars. Narcotic manuscripts. That's actually stuff that's written by the great race of Yith.
They
Narcotic
just have it.
manuscripts are, yeah, they have a copy. I forget what the Book of Barzai is. The seven cryptical books of Sun is. Both of these are not made by Lovecraft. Narcotic manuscripts were because of the Whispers of Time. There's also Yiggorath.
And the Temple of Yiggorath.
They're basically ape monster people.
There's the cities
Oh,
of.
let me. No, no. I want to read a little more because I think you might get a hoot out of this. The people would have remained completely primitive because they're ape people, but for the fact they resided near a cleft in the side of Mount Lerion, which was a place of outer evil long before the coming of men to this region of dream. One day, in the midst of times, the dreaded thing in the yellow mask came to them, and gave them the knowledge to make spheres, eat meat, and ride the brutal Kairesh. If you're wondering, yes, these guys worship the yellow sign devotees.
Well, no, if it's the thing in the yellow mask, no, it's the Nyarlathotep.
Yeah, Nyarlathotep basically educated them. I don't like how they have kind of the same thing because what happened was someone tried to do the same thing.
And you see, the price of education in some cases may lead to pursuit, but if pursuit is not taken with care, intelligence can lead to madness.
By the way, if you're wondering,
As
another really
such,
fun thing.
in
No,
the
no.
Dreamlands. Dun 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 dun.
I was just gonna say very quickly. These are like your classic pulp adventure ape people because they have a habit of kidnapping women. Like it's actual like good old fashioned swashbuckling. Oh no, it's an ape person. Gotta gotta stop him from kidnapping the girl. I just thought that was fun.
Oh, and then we finally get the Zoog villages. In the center of the China wood like large Zoogs. They brew a wine from a haunted tree, and this tree is a seed which fell to earth from the moon.
It is said to be haunted, for those who sleep beneath it have strange visions. Also,
And
the wine is potent, and those unused to strong drink will quickly succumb to its effect. Zug wine has a potency of 15. Which, yeah, there are mechanics in Call of Cthulhu for drugs. Potent 15 is pretty fucking strong. There's also the Land of the Dead. All those who die in the Dreamlands in horrific circumstances rise again in this land to serve their new mistress, the Princess Zara, until they rot away to nothing. In game turns, anyone who dies in an encounter which cause or goes insane, either temporarily or indefinitely, will go to serve her. It is important that the cause of insanity and the cause of death be in the same encounter. And there's other places, like the underworld. This is where the Gugs are. There's also the Plane of Ghouls,
yes, the city of the Gugs.
which is where the Tower
And
of Koth is.
the fungus forest, the crag of ghouls, the house of Shagab. Yeah, all your classic locations.
Kingdom of Gugs. See, the City of Gugs. Thank you, book. Very cool. Anyway, here's what the underworld looks like. I don't feel like trying to fiddle fuddy. I'll put this into Discord later
Well,
on.
no, well, no, it's the Dreamlands. It exactly looks like that.
Yeah, you
Yes, you
basically
are
walk.
walking
You're
sideways.
walking on walls. It's fine. It's normal. There's the
And
vast
then
cavern and the sea of Peleh.
the Vaults of Zin,
Oh
where
no,
there
the
are
sea of
unwelcome
pitch.
creatures. No, I was gonna go with the Vaults of Zin, and with the um, residents are ghasts. These unwholesome creatures are about as tall as a small horse and move about by hopping on their powerful hind legs like a kangaroo. They resemble humans, but they lack noses and foreheads.
The Vaults of Zin, if I recall
It's like
correctly, that's
what?
another Lovecraft circle writing. It's not by him, but there is it's part of the Ghoul stories,
Also,
basically.
Angel, not like Wraith the Oblivion, because you don't have unfinished business. You're just an insane undead person.
Well, no, the underworld is. Let's see. Do they explain? Oh yeah, it is where you just kind of walk around and be dead. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of like that, but not really. Mainly because you
It's
can
actually
go here as a human and crawl out of it as a zombie.
it's actually a bit better. There's no smiling lord.
There's just Princess Zura. Also, instead of oceans which take you to oblivion, there's the Sea of Pitch.
A gooey tar-like substance. There's also the pitch spiders.
Yeah, do you want to fight giant spiders on an ocean of tar?
And funny enough, a temple to Nodens.
There's also the Sea of Bones, which there's layers of bones deposited by the ghouls. Which, by the way, ghouls are not dead creatures; they're living beings.
But
And
then we
the Sea
have
of Bones have dulls. Have fun.
no, oh, that's fine. But then we
The
have the
moon.
moon. And the Earth's cats frequently visit the moon, as do cats from other planets of the Dreamland solar system.
Yeah,
The dark side is home to moon beasts. The light side is home to various ruins and temples,
I kind of like that the moon is a dead world, literally, in this place. That's kind of cool.
such as a monstrous seed on the dark side of the moon, known as the Messenger of Azathoth.
Well, actually, no, I just realized. Since we're doing a lot of comparisons to the World of Darkness, hey, remember when the Void Engineers went to the moon to kill off every fairy that was on there? I think that's what they did. I know they did a lot of like war crimes on the moon.
Also, I do like that uh, there's a alternative Bella Dome, which apparently is an exact replica on Earth's of, or better yet, there's I guess this crater which used to be the residence of a sorcerer Hanador. He originally, when his land was destroyed of Hyperborea, fled through Eben's doorway to Saturn and then traveled to the dark side of Earth's moon and built
Oh,
an exact
Ibon.
replica of
Oh
his
yeah,
ruins.
Ibon. Ibon. So this is another one of those really dark. This guy, the Book of Ibon is another source of like dark magic. If you're wondering.
Ah,
So yeah, you can just find you can find the ruins of crazy space Mayans here. It's pretty great.
and then there are worlds beyond.
Well, before
Out
then, there's the
Turing,
Black Lake of Uboth, which that's where you can run into Shoggoths. Have fun.
hmm, but no, because this just caught my eye here. Al Turinga. It is the dreamlands of the Aboriginal people.
Hmm. Some say the Aboriginals originally came to the waking world from Alcharinga, while others believe
Ah,
they created it.
love. Oh, I hope that wasn't actually Lovecraft thing, because that's kind of offensive.
It wasn't. Someone else wrote it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
If you're wondering, I don't think Lovecraft even remembered Aborigines existed other than as fodder for Cthulhu, so it's fine.
I'm gonna be honest. If he saw one of them, he might have ran away screaming.
He would have. I'm not even going to disagree. He would. He would have run away screaming until like 1934.
The strange, large, dark humanoid creature with his great and terrible elongated flute, or
You're.
not flute.
Oh
It would
wait,
be
no.
elongated
He did
clarinet.
write stuff like that. Do you want to know why? Because there's the race of coral polyps that's living under Australia. There's the
Oh,
race
you
of
know how we.
polyp monsters.
Oh, you know actually how we could um, I guess reinterpret this. The Aboriginal people are going to the dream time and essentially time traveling to help the Great Roots of Youth fuck over the polyps
To keep them locked down there. Yeah, I could see it.
using mystical didgeridoos.
I don't mind the concept that they came like really early on in man's history. They came from the Dreamlands though. That's not. It's weird.
Uh, it's weird, but
I don't
I
see it as
preferred if I
offensive. It's
preferred
just weird.
I preferred if actual humans stayed as actual humans.
Well, no,
Like
the Dreamlands
keep
humans
the
are still human.
oh
They're
there we go. All right,
biologically still human, other than the oddities of the like. There are humans that are immortal, but that's because of the area they're in.
you know what, that could fit.
Like they are straight up humans. Like they mentioned that the Dreamlands, like yeah, there's a lot of weird monster people, but no, they're like there are normal humans. There's quite a few of them actually.
Hmm.
Like the lands of Minar, for example, in Lomar, they are dream replicas of humans, but they're like Final Fantasy X's version of Titus. You know how Titus is a dream, but he's still basically a person.
Spoilers for a game that's 2 decades old, I
You
think.
you get what you deserve. So the dream speakers from Mage of the Ascension, essentially, yeah. Also, you can in the Dreamlands go to Azathoth's court, have fun.
Where the blind and mindless lesser other gods dance gigantically to the monotonous piping of a diabolic flute,
Oh,
and it
by the
is the
way,
center of
only
the
one person ever came back from this remotely sane.
well, I mean, if it is the center of the universe, uh, and if we go by physics, you're looking at the beginning of time.
You can also enter Cathuria, which is a beautiful area, the amazing crystalline cities. It is not for humankind. Long ago, the gods removed Cathuria from the world so that people would have something to strive for.
Right. This is the land of hope, the land of all that is best in humanity. As human culture grows older and less innocent, it have become less and less worthy of Cathuria.
Now you literally can't go here.
Oh, this is Eden.
Yeah,
And it's also spawned a beast that which lurks in the cataract before the gates of Cathuria. Okay. Oh no, this is Eden.
I
This is
also
the Archangel Michael, or what was it? Was it?
well no, because eventually what happens is that abomination will break the gates of Cathuria and destroy it. Hope will be destroyed and humankind will forever be lost. I mean, it was already fucked anyway. Canonically, they get replaced by cockroaches in Lovecraft's universe, like less than 1,000 years later, if I remember right.
No, no, not 1,000. Remember, 5,000 in the year 5,000, we will get the cruel empire of Sanshan.
I just know that humanity, literally in canon, is not the last of Earth's masters. That goes
It will
to
be
Bug Race.
cockroaches. Well, last recorded one.
There's also Nihir Sarub, which is a magical realm which lies in space beyond the moon. Don't go there because magical realms are horrible.
And
And Yundu. It has no sun, but is instead encircled by a ring of red coals. There is no day or night, only eternal twilight. This is home to something called the Winellians, which I have no fucking clue what that is.
oh, they're nice people. I've met them.
Ossel's laughing that Titus isn't real. Don't worry, he eventually becomes real and then gets blown up by a by a bomb disguised as a blitzball.
Wait, really?
Canonically, Titus dies. Yuna gets it like if I remember, he gets decapitated by the explosion, and his head lands in Yuna's lap.
Oh,
Yeah, all of that effort to 100% Final Fantasy X2, some garbage book that was its sequel that was like some stupid mystery story just kills him again. Haha, all the hours that you wasted on that sequel amounted to nothing. Suffer. And so
and then
you
we.
learn no, and then Nyarlathotep appears. And so you learn that despite that not always can a hard work and effort can be worth anything. Sometimes it is meaningless. Sands of
Oh,
time that goes through an hourglass.
and sometimes this can only be glimpsed at in the Dreamlands. Other times.
I actually really love the concept that it's just Rod Sterling. But anyway, the High Priest of Ulthar, Atal, Strength 8, Dex 12, pretty okay. Really
He's
well educated.
300 years old,
Well, that's what. Look at his education and power. You can see why.
and he has what's his
Some
sanity?
very powerful spell. His sanity's not bad for someone with that much power.
That much power for a Cthulhu mythos of 60 and an occult of 99.
Yeah,
Then you have Bazari the Wise, the captain of the White Ship. Oh, Randolph Collar himself. Hey, looks strangely familiar.
I like that he looks like a peanut. He looks like a parrot.
No,
He looks like a
it's
fictional version of a president.
no. He's supposed to look like H.P. Lovecraft because this was H.P. Lovecraft's self-insert.
It was, but I'm just making fun of the caricature of him. He looks like a peanut. He he looks like he looks like a character you'd use in a Punch and Judy, not in a Punch, in a Punch magazine. He looks like a parody of a of a British Parliament politician who's about to say something really fucking stupid.
The Cat General of Uthar.
Also, there's no way Randolph Carter's sanity is 65. I'm sorry, but his sanity would be a bit lower.
Wait, I do like this with his skills. Um, Credit rating 60%. Love old books 59%. 20% in Zoog.
Also, appreciate eccentric artists 47%. Also, deal with publishers 10%.
Oh, that's oh that is an Easter egg to Lovecraft.
I love it. But yeah,
Uh,
cats. Because remember, cats in the Dreamlands are sentient.
we have the Cat General of Uthar, old Tom, supreme commander of the army of cats in the Dreamlands. He bears many scars of his campaigns: shortened tail, half an ear missing, and a limp in his right front paw. Makes his home in the shop of Wolf the baker, and as we all know, like all cats, he is capable of leaping through space.
Oh yes, if you're wondering, yes, cats can leap through space-time.
The Flying Cat Brigade.
So, if you're ever tormented by a monster haunting your dreams, sometimes your cat will literally just appear to save you, which is a bit of a nod to the rats in the walls. Because remember, his cat, which was named after, well, Lovecraft's cat, which his dad named.
Uh, I do have an idea of Tom and Jerry, but it's Lovecraftian. Actually, that might fit. Looney Tunes is just a Lovecraftian nightmare.
So I'm just envisioning this kind of like scruffy black cat that has a very unfortunate name with the rat from Dreams of the Witch House. The Rat Man.
Suffer, yeah, suffer and succotash. I saw a rat man.
You combine Sylvester and Tweety, and I hate you for it, dude. I hated that. Wow. Anyway, the Cat Patriarch. This dignifies Maltese cat, and yes, they make a big deal about each cat because that's something Lovecraft would have fucking done, and I love it.
At over 250 years old, he's the oldest cat, and as regards the wisest. The cat patriarch of Celephus is somewhat aloof towards humans unless they can somehow impress him, or unless they have some form of introduction from another influential cat.
Like all cats, he's capable of
He's
leaping
capable
through
of leaping through
space. I just love how that's what it's
It's
described
just,
as.
it's just like that's a fact.
Yeah, cats canonically in Lovecraft's universe can just leap through space-time. It's pretty great.
Then we have the Dukes of Ishara.
Which we skipped through, but basically these are some important characters you might run into.
They're corrupted by the Great Old Ones.
There's the Man of Action and the Ruthless Ruler. You can run into Basil.
Basil Elton, Nathan Elton, and then no, G-Tech. Look at that man's outfit.
Getek.
Yeah,
Oh, I like it.
he is a short man, and only the top of his bald head and beady eyes are seen between the folds of his black wrappings, which he wears, though they are too big for him.
I also like him because he's essentially a merchant character who gets you some weird shit.
Yeah, problem is Sand Zero.
That's fine. He may be
Credit
crazy, but
rating,
he'll get you what you want.
credit rating 35%. Then there's Hanodor. There's that
Also, yes,
sorcerer,
pre-human. He's a pre-human, which means he's like an ape man.
uh, Getek or Hanador.
Handor,
Oh, no,
pre-human sorcerer from the
he's a
land
hut.
of Hyperborea.
It's capable of changing his shape into that of a 15-foot long rattlesnake,
Yeah, he can do that because of his dealings with the Serpent Men of Velusia.
and he desires to return to the waking world and exert his evil influence to dominate the globe.
So,
Which
if you want a
actually,
villain,
actually
this
no,
guy's pretty good.
no, this is a great idea. Team this up with um, Karyotechia from Delta Green. Is that yes, we're opening a ritual to get our Hyperborean man, and it turns out he looks upon these people. It's like inferiors, degenerate mutants.
Well, he's also pre-human. He's not even because
He's, yeah.
he's not
But
even human really.
no, that's the thing. He views the Nazis as degenerates,
Well, he would.
unworthy of his service.
Well, he probably would. Hadagram, which is one of the Knights of Kharanes, the High Priest of Nath Horhath. Yep,
Ibex,
yep.
the Ice Carver of Iran.
That's the guy who kills you.
No, he doesn't kill you. He just turned those he sculpts into ice statues. But then of course
The
there's
two priests.
Kamantha and Nasht. They do have a sanity of NA.
Oh yeah, they don't have their sanity doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, they're right, because they can look upon the form of Azathoth without dismay.
Look at their power rating, 96.
They have a 99 singing ability.
No, no, you
Or,
don't understand.
yeah,
So remember, you know how power is statted out traditionally?
yeah,
It's usually
like
done up to power is treated like D&D's 3d6.
yeah,
Their
18.
power is well beyond anything you can possibly ever get. Same with
And they
education.
oh, and they can dismiss a dreamer's physical self back to the waking world at will.
Yeah, they are statable, which means they are hypothetically killable. Good fucking luck though. Good fucking luck.
Then we have King Karanis, who looks yeah completely like an English gentleman. In the waking world, he overdosed on drugs. He became a mere husk of a man once wealthy and powerful, but ruined himself searching for the dreamlands. After he died in the waking world, became king of Celephus. He lived there for many decades, but has now grown homesick for his native Cornwall.
He might be based on an actual writer.
Oh, and he's the only dreamer to have returned from Azathoth's throne, sane and unchained.
Yeah,
How?
it's because he's English.
I guess, yeah, he was just courtly. My there, sir. Do you mind turning down that racket?
Gets
I'd like
louder.
to have a little. I'd like to have a little chat with you.
Gets louder. Starts randomly gibbering.
Hmm. Perhaps another day. We'll have another tea and crumpets.
How the fuck is his sanity at 55? I'll be honest, it should be like 10 points lower.
He also carries a long sword.
Well, yeah,
Oh
why
wait,
wouldn't you?
wait. No, he's mad. He's a mad Jack Churchill. That's how he could survive Azathoth. If a man can go into war with a long sword and a bow and arrow in World War fucking II, he can survive Azathoth.
I mean, this guy's kind of more based on characters like Lord Byron and Edgar Allan Poe a little bit.
Eh,
There's also the Eidolon
there's
Lathi, who is the leader of the Turman of Thalarion. Her lower
sure,
body
whatever
is
that
that
is.
of a termite.
Ah,
Female prisoner she regards
her.
as a
Oh wait, no.
threat, and she has them
Her
cast
Thor.
into her
Wait,
pit.
wait, wait, wait. Her thorax protrudes into a chamber behind her throne, and this is her nuptial chamber.
Oh yeah, basically she
Sh-
hates ladies, but men she basically tries to, yeah.
She mates with human males to satisfy her own lust for pleasure. At least she can multitask, and she doesn't need to go. She can have court and fuck.
She literally can kill you via snoo snoo.
Let's see. If she succeeds in overcoming her lover's power, she has drained all the vital essence from him.
She literally
Um,
screws you until you die.
yeah.
By the way, if you win that, that's actually a fate worse than death, since she'll keep you until you die.
Anyone witnessing such a mating will lose 1 to 1d4 sanity.
Yeah.
She's got a 75 seduce skill.
Yeah.
I'm not like all the other girls.
Casts a bunch of webs on you. Now take her to my nuptial chambers. Take him to my nuptial chambers. There you go.
You just got the one guy with the bug fetish. Nah, I'm into that shit.
Of all the ways to die, this is the one that I was most hoping for.
Imagine though if you get like a critical no, you give her pleasure.
Well, no, she does. She does do that, but the thing is, if you do that, have
Oh.
fun. You're stuck there until you die. You will inevitably
Ah.
fail. That's the point.
Ah.
The Old Man of Ornai. Not that interesting. Ward Phillips.
Is
He
the
was.
author of the pulp horror fiction The Waking World, and his grandfather left him The Lamp of Alhazrad.
I think this is based on. Oh God,
Well, no, well, it can't be Lovecraft because he has a Bostonian accent.
that's what I mean. I'm trying to figure out who this is a nod for. Is this like a Stephen King reference?
Wouldn't it be Maine?
It would be Maine. I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm drawing a blank. I know Lovecraft. I don't know his literary circle as well.
Let me see. Um, no, that was a pseudonym, apparently, of Lovecraft.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. He sometimes would do that for books he wasn't happy with.
And I guess same thing for Karanis.
Possibly.
I
I
guess
I
they're
do
they're
know. I do know
all
Richard
just.
Upton Pickman is from. He is from Pickman's Model.
Oh, you're back, Pikmin, and you still have sanity.
How did? Oh, he actually still has some sanity. Holy shit.
And he carries a gun.
Also, he is a ghoul. The ghoulish heritage has begun to show itself. So here's the thing about ghouls. Ghouls can be created by just acting like a ghoul. Because humans and ghoul are basically two sides of the same species. His lineage is descended from basically a ghoul giving a baby to a very smarmy prosecutor during the Salem witch trials, because he is also descended from a Salem witch. And basically, if you act like a ghoul, if you start partaking in their victuals and rites, you become a ghoul. If you collect the dead, if you eat from the dead, basically, if you're wondering where Warhammer Fantasy got its idea that if you eat flesh, you become a ghoul, it came from this. Indulging in long
Oh,
pork can turn you into that. Also, he
who
is.
knew?
Let's see. Do they have his art? His art brushing technique is only at 40%. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, he's got a 50% into morbid renderings, though.
Good artist, my ass.
Well, no, 50 is actually good. It's not the level of a master, but
No, you don't understand, because like in Pikmin's. Well, then again, he is a hack who's basically just tracing photographs of his buddies. Yeah,
he's
that makes
Greg.
sense.
He's the Greg Land of morbid horror.
I'm not. Well, no. What he does is he asks his ghouls to pose, and he'll take photos of them, and then paint them. And what he was doing in the story of Pikmin's Model is recently he was allowing them to do like some really fucked up things for his paintings, which includes actually eating like a fucking child. Basically, it's a demented version of you know that famous painting that was made by Goya where he went nuts.
Saturn devouring his son.
Imagine that, but with a ghoul actually eating a fucking infant. Yeah, he photographed that and he was painting
How is
that.
his how is his sanity even 10?
It was higher originally.
Let's see, the seer with invisible
I
eyes.
love that they actually just introduced Richard Upton Pickman though, because in the book he disappears. Like they just don't know where to find him anymore. So him being in the Dreamlands makes sense.
Let's see, a ghoul by the name of Shugab.
He might be the oldest
Uh,
ghoul alive. I also like how he just kind of looks like he looks like a Muppet you'd see make. He looks like he looks like the third critic in the theater of the Muppets. You got Statler, Waldorf, and Shugab.
then you have Ska,
Ska the Witch.
a slant-eyed merchant of ill repute.
Yeah,
He is a forced agent of Lovecraft.
yeah.
Then there's Snid,
He is
the
the greatest
vampire,
thief of the
yeah,
Dreamlands.
the vampire Tok, Thornies, Yavo. These are, you know what? These are even worse than Star Wars names.
By the way, Talk. I don't know. I really, really hope that. Let me just kind of quickly looking at it.
He
Okay.
looks like someone from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
I was just
Like that.
wondering if this was a Stephen King reference because there's an entity in Stephen King's work that basically can possess people and unleash basically your greatest secret desires, but corrupts them. He's like a jackass genie that tempts you into doing awful
Hmm.
things. Yavo, Princess Zura, the leader of the dead. She was cursed by a powerful sorcerer whose undying love for her and life caused him to raise her from the dead. When he finally went mad and died, he cursed her to rule over the restless land of Zura forever. She can renew herself from time to time by taking a human lover. Why do you keep doing this? I know this is sword and sorcery, but come on, man.
Probably that. Uh, trying to like a Delilah thing. Well, Delilah didn't, or just simply, the beautiful maiden is actually a dark and evil creature.
But here's the bestiary of the Dreamslands, and this is going to be pretty fun. There's some pretty interestingly weird shit.
Aboth, children of.
There's the messenger of Azathoth, and that's what he looks like, the messenger over the moon. By the way, this thing's stats, yeah, have fun. You're not gonna win.
It's not.
Die, just die. Basilisks.
Good old Basilisk, the beast in the pit.
Yep.
Oh, 350 health.
Have fun.
Bloops.
By the way, the beast in the pit is the thing guarding Cathuria. Eventually, it will be like, should the beast ever be reduced to 0 hit points, it will fall away into the depths of the Great Cataract. This will usher in a new age of understanding, peace, and harmony in the waking world.
The only way to end it is to reduce the amount of its life energy, i.e., lust, hate, anger, greed, in the waking world.
Yeah. The bloops. Look at these weird
Oh, those
butterfly
look cute.
dragons. I like that. Look at this thing.
Butterfly. Oh, that looks
That's a beautiful
not at
shit
all
post.
horrifying.
That's a beautiful shit post.
Carnivorous fish.
Cats, which again, oh, they're very important. That's why there's a quote about them.
Yeah. And of course, spells able to leap through space
Cats,
to
fabulous
other worlds.
felines. Cats from Saturn.
Also, also, it costs no sanity points to see a cat.
Yeah. There's
And
also
there's the
the
cats from
Saturn cat.
Saturn and cats from Uranus.
These vaguely cat-like creatures, their bodies are almost abstract form of arabesques and filigrees in many light hues. At one end is a heroic object identifiable as a head only by the great round multicolored eyes. Reticulated tails at the other end. From their complex bodies, these cats can unfold into 2, 4, or more legs, each ending with a long whip-like paw. These creatures are one foe which Earth cats fear. Like Earth cats, they frequent the moon's dark side. The cats from Saturn are allied with the moon beasts. Also, seeing a cat from Saturn costs 0 to 1d4 sanity points. Here's Uranian cats. They're six-legged, and I actually kind of like these because these kind of remind me of a bit of a nod to John Carter
Ah,
because of the six legs. That's a common thing on Mars.
then we have the Children of the Sphinx, the denizens of Caparnombo.
Caparnombo basically being the primordial Egypt of the dream.
Oh, then this thing that's terrifying, cloud beasts.
Look at him,
They're clouds.
and they
They
can
look
form
like clouds.
eyes,
They're
mouths, and
completely
limbs.
appear completely silent. Habitat, the skies,
Yeah,
particularly near the seas.
yeah, you can just run
I
into
don't
these.
I don't want to go on a boat in this area.
You gotta.
The guardians of the crystallizers of dreams.
These are the things that can stalk and hunt you.
Oh, they're the jellyfish from SpongeBob
A mix. Well, also, do you see the skulls that they seem to have in them?
with skulls. Due to their shadowy consistency, they have no strength or con as understood by humans.
Also, the doles. Which, if you want to know what the dole looks like,
Well, no, that's a Dole antlion. They live in the path of Panah.
well, yeah, these are smaller. These are related to doles, but are not doles. There's also the big worms.
Oh, then there's elephants. Yeah, elephants are just here.
Fireworms.
And the dromedians. They're just camels.
Well, yeah, dromedaries are an old-fashioned term for camel.
Ah,
The bolt worm of the Nazic desert. Gatamon. Isn't there an
gas.
antediluvian that has a sandstorm form? That might be the gangrel one. Because
Hmm.
doesn't Protean allow you to turn into like mist and shit?
But here we
I
have
don't
the no
remember, but it sounds like something that you can do with like a high amount of the discipline that allows you to turn into shit like mist.
but then we have the Norian.
Ghasts and ghouls, and here's the Nori.
And they do resemble mermen.
They can have two,
But
three, or even four arms. This is an example of a three-armed Nori. And their bodies are tentacles.
then there's goblins.
It's standard
And also
goblins.
great trees. This race of trees came to the Dreamlands from a dying planet far from across the reaches of space and time. Only three members of the species were able to survive by having their life lizard seeds borne away to their world by a traveling sorcerer. They quickly drain the soil around them of nourishment they require to survive, so they creep along throughout their lives, moving less than 1 inch per day, sending their vast network of roots deep underground to seek out the minerals needed to sustain them.
The leaves of these trees give off a pollen-like substance which the tree it refer to as the dust of dreams. Anyone who inhales it either while sleeping beneath them or from gathered from a tree is amused from the spells Send Dreaming and Send Dreams. Each great tree carries with it all the memories of its ancestors.
It's what I want to imagine. Just you see this big tree in the midst of a desert.
Yep. Also, growlywogs.
Yeah, they look like frogs,
Yep.
but like a cat.
The guardian
Then
pillars.
there's gugs.
So Gugs, due to their strength, they do they actually explain? You have to, yeah, Call of Cthulhu because you can run
Yeah.
into them in the mound.
Hemiophores, webbed humanoids.
They're blood
They're
drinkers, by the
bloods.
way.
Yep. Then oh, we have halflings
Here's what
of
they look
Daz.
like. It's the
Look,
Cyclops thing with the proboscis.
it looks like it's an anteater.
The halflings of Daz are the second link of the chain towards the Lords of Luz. They are created through the unwholesome union between captured human men and tick women.
Then there's the beings of Ib.
Basically, remember that lady who wants you to snoo her until you die? This is what her children look like if you succeed.
Ah.
The
Then there's
beings
the
of Ib.
they look like goblin Celestins.
I kind of like it. They might have come
Actually, no,
from the
the ghost
moon.
one, the ghost one looks like a Celestin.
Well, the beings of Ib used to be from the moon before Sarnath destroyed them.
And there's the minions of Krakow, which looks like like a spider's body with electricity. Oh
Yep,
no, no, it is.
they're basically energy creatures. The Keeper of Dreams. What the hell is this thing?
It's the keeper.
It's an doorway in the back alley of Ulthar. Here it waits for those to come in search of the services it offers. It deals in the desires of men and can offer anything which you can imagine. The requests must be personal ones. The Keeper can grant many things, including enlightenment, power, and wealth, as long as others are not directly affected. There is a price, the souls of those who seek it. Using a soul stealer spell, they will trap the commodity in a silvery glove and lock it away in his box. Unlike the normal soul stealer spell, adverse effects are not instantaneous. Instead, you will lose one int and one power every year until your soul is gone, and only your body lives.
Let's see. Then there's the Kresh dog
I like
horse
them.
things.
They're kind of cute in a weird,
Hmm
in a derpy way. I kind of like them.
A salamander, a 2 to 3 foot long salamander known as the lamp Fs.
Basically, their heads look like a lamp.
The larvae of other gods.
The other gods are among those beings who dance blindly and idiotically at the court of Azathoth, and sometimes their larvae just kind of fly through space.
I mean, as you do, as you're dancing, you just part of it comes off, and they just drift. Specific examples include the seeds of Azathoth and the Star Mother.
Uh, just to give you an idea of how awful these are, here's how you create them. You literally roll for their abilities.
Depending on
And
specific form,
yeah,
anywhere from 0 to 1d10 or 1d8 to 5d10 sanity point loss to see a larvae of the other gods.
it's pretty bad.
Remember, these things are just floating out there in space, drifting away from the center of the universe.
It's pretty bad. The Lang spiders. In ancient times, Lang spiders ruled the entire plateau of Lang. That was before the men of Lang waged generations of warfare with them. You'd have to see
Uh,
Call of Cthulhu because a lot of these were covered in Call of
yeah.
Cthulhu.
Uh, well, one thing wasn't covered: llamas.
I think it's really interesting they choose to do this rather than just restat Lang spiders.
Uh, the Lords of Luz. The final product between a long, depraved chain of forced matings between different species, which begins with man.
So yeah, the Inquanok, these are the priests. These are what the priests actually look like. Manticores, megabirds, the men of Lang. That's what the men of Lang look like. They're basically satyrs.
They eat the moon beasts eat their plumper, almost human slaves, using the leaner slaves to perform menial tasks not requiring strength.
There's also the merfolk, which
Oh,
they're
the deep ones.
yeah.
Those are deep. And then there's the moon beasts, which apparently are in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
They
they
write great.
exist.
Wait. They serve Nyarlathotep for his favor and enslave other races. They ride great black galleys through the dreamland skies.
And they're also allied with the cats of Saturn and the men of Lang.
How dare you, cats of Saturn? We would have helped you.
Hordes of the night, these are creatures that spawn in the night itself. They are formed from the fears of men.
Oh, those things look beautiful.
They're great.
I like the guy who has eyes for nipples.
I didn't even realize that. That's awful. Night Riders, which are little bat things that the pygmies would ride. Nyarlathotep's half
Nyarlathotep's
brother.
half brother. Wait. And finally, you read Terrible Ashes, which told of the joke played by Nyarlathotep on his minions when they summoned him and he declined to come, for he had sent instead his half brother and other face, a ravenous and by no means sane entity which could radiate intolerable horror like a poisonous vapor.
So
Then
he
again,
just sends his half brother to fuck with people sometimes.
um, Rod shows up as just like, listen.
No, he doesn't even he doesn't even appear. What
Well,
happens
no,
is
no,
you
no.
kill this thing, and then he appears, and he just takes off his gloves and is about to throw down with you. Because if you kill this thing in less than 10 rounds, Nyarlathotep will come, and he's rip roaring mad and ready to kick your ass.
How dare you? What was
That's
his? What
great.
was his? What was his? Listen, my father. He's a very important man. He is Azathoth. None of you exist without him. That's that's my brother right there.
Only I'm allowed to beat him up.
And I don't even be. We have a great friendship with each other. How dare you? How dare you? What? Just because he looks like this gibbering thing that does 1d10 to 1d100 sand loss? He's a nice guy.
Sure, he tried to
Listen,
rip your intestines out and eat them, but he was hungry. You interrupted our family dinner.
he's been writing a novel series, okay? Great Unnameable Terrors. It's a romantasy genre book. It's up and coming. It's popular.
Sure, looking upon it would blow your minds quite literally, as in you would go to your pathetic examples of an asylum, but it's fire in the outer realms, I can assure you that.
The women, or what you could consider women in blasphemous forms and mockeries of the feminine type, they love it.
Also, the pitch spiders are great. They're basically animated blobs of tar. I love these weird monsters that are here.
Yeah, just Huimyaga, leader of the Shantaks.
The
He serves as
scabfish.
Nyarlathotep's mount and bears the crawling chaos to and from the court of Azathoth as needed.
Damn, this book is dense. We're only 110 pages in.
Well, this is one of the great things about Chaosium, which is the bestiary.
The Shantax, which are dragon-like creatures from the race of Leng on the plateau of Leng. They're used by steeds. There's also slime molds, which are just giant funguses.
Spider hounds, the Turmen.
Sloblabibics. They're basically
That's
deer, and they can turn invisible randomly.
the thing hanging in the void. It's a thin, mummified humanoid figure with murky features.
Also, for the Turmen, the Turfolk are the inhabitants of the cursed city of Thalarian. They serve their queen, Lathi. Let's see, any details about... it's just they're termite people. Here's the thing hanging in the void. Look at it.
If the thing encounters a lone dreamer, it may choose to possess the luckless person instead of devouring his or her soul. And it leads other dreamers so that it can glut on its wicked appetite.
By the way, it can appear at any point in the Dreamlands. It just appears more often in the underworld.
It's just a thing that's there.
Yeah, it just appears. There's also the Tickmen. They're just ticks. They drink your blood.
I mean, it's more like he's shocked that you came in there to see him naked.
The Vorniths, which are amphibious carnivores. They're washed out pink creatures. Oh, what the hell is
Uh,
this? That's a womp. Look at that womp. Half bat, half spider, all drug-fueled haze.
the Watchers in the Wastes.
They're basically mountain creatures.
They're mount 1d4 to 1d20 to see the Watchers move. No, I'm going 1d50.
Because of
You're
the sheer
seeing a mount.
size.
It's a mountain that's moving.
The hills that walk. The hills literally have eyes in this case.
Because here's what I'm thinking. Because they make no sound when they move. You just look away, and next, the mountain is staring at you.
Well, here's the thing. They're supposed to guard the way to Kadath.
Ah.
'Cause the outer
Oh, then
gods
here are
don't
the.
really want to deal with that.
Oh, no, wait. Here are the Wodnellians. Bizarre beings who sometimes visit the Dreamlands. Their bodies are bloated and sausage-like, but beautifully patterned in subtle shades of golden yellow, mouse gray, ochre, and emerald.
And they have a proboscis. Look at this weird thing. They also conduct piracies. They're pirates. They're literal sky pirates. What the fuck? And wing snakes, which look pretty great. The witch trees, which are mobile trees.
And Zern, great servitor of the night. And Yax.
Yeah,
And
yaks.
then Yathli.
She was thirsty. Also, she forgot she's really drunk.
And her guardians.
And
And then
also,
here are
there's
the,
the Yggdrathnians.
yep, and zebras. And finally, Zoogs.
That's a Zoog.
And then we get to the second part of the bestiary, the gods.
Here we go. This will be useful.
Let's see. Ariel, the embodiment of truth. He can only speak what is true and will always do so.
He always knows when someone lies to him and will punish those who try. Those who attempt to lie to Ariel will find themselves bathed in the light of truth, which will cause them to change form to become that which they truly are. For example, a man who's cruel to everyone he meets might be turned into a monster. Also, you lose 1d8 sanity when you're faced with the truth about yourself.
Asthoth, Bast, of course, the crawling mist, Bokrug, uh,
By the way, the
Gadam.
Crawling Mist is one of the many avatars of Nyarlathotep.
Ooh. I do like Sandy Loss. Is 0 to 1d3 because it's just mist.
Yep. Gadamon, which is the Great Old One. It's a larval
It's
Great
a
Old
larva.
One.
It haunts the sterile lake.
And it was
Um,
created by the Migo. Hagargrionis, which is another great one. Hypnos, which is the god of sleep, which makes sense.
Karakal.
And he's always on fire.
Then we have the uh, outer god, or the lesser other gods, and Lilith. Yeah, Lilith. She's a god.
That makes sense. Hey,
There's no sanity loss for seeing her.
hey, remember in Vampire how Lilith was a thing? Well, here
Yeah,
she is again. More connections. Also, Queen of the Night.
Lobon.
Mnomqua, which is a great old one. It's a giant lizard thing. Nichikambel, who's kind of like
Looks.
Athena, actually.
Yeah. Is indifferent to humanity as a whole. Well, yeah, she's a elder. Only concern is the ultimate defeat of the outer gods and the great old ones.
I mean, these are just a lot of the gods that you run into, like the night. The night itself is an outer god. It's the primordial fear of the night, which lurks in all men's souls. It may be invoked by followers of Nyarlathotep.
Now, hold on one sec. If it's the personification of night, how can you see it?
It appears as a great pool of darkness which laps in the valley.
Hmm. We have Nodens, Nyarlathotep,
Oh,
or
Kronos,
Kronos, uh, river deity. That seems to be actually good, as there's no sand loss for viewing her,
the great one Orn,
or him.
great old one Orn, which,
Robgus.
yeah, Robigus, the great one.
Well, Orn, doesn't she look pretty? She's a quiet goddess. She waits patiently for the day when she and her mate will be reunited. Ah,
Yep.
she's waiting
Sthud.
for her lover.
Look at this weird fucking turnip thing. That's Sthud.
Slewed.
Waiting for any to come and awaken him with prayers. This has happened 3 times, and each time Sthud performed a miracle and then went to sleep. Of the first 2 miracles, there is no record, but his third is said to have been the creation of man. If Sthud is ever awakened, he may be put back to sleep by satisfying his ravenous hunger with a live human sacrifice who he devours whole. Such a sacrifice must be made within a short period of time after his awakening, or he will perform a miracle. Just what such a miracle might be is left to the discretion of the keeper, but the priests of Sthud have gone to great lengths to prevent this from ever happening again, because humanity was a mistake. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. uh, Tamash, and then the thing that Pastor will be suing Nyarlathotep for, the thing in the yellow mask.
You like how he's appeared in this book like 4 times so far. He's great.
I actually there's a short story of the wedding of Cthulhu's daughter to the King in Yellow. I want to see a version of the court case, the civil court case,
Oh, it's even more cursed than that.
Passer v. Nyarlathotep.
By the way, the best thing about this is in this guise, guess what? He taught the Igorothians all of the language, which is one of the interesting ways to depict the yellow sign, which is it is thought itself.
This form strongly resembles the King Yellow and is often mistaken for it.
Yeah,
The high
there's Yop.
Yeah, no, seriously, Nyarlathotep, you are going to be sued. I don't think there's a statute. Well, again,
You fool! I'm behind 1,000 faces.
yeah, but the king isn't dead. Copyright still exists. Life of the owner plus 70 in America.
He'll just go to the outer realm equivalent of Mexico to hide. Come and
He's
try
Ethan.
to surf me,
He's Ethan
bish.
Ralph. He's Ethan.
Surf me, bish.
My daddy's Azathoth, the crawling chaos.
Hide and fucking watch me. Haster,
Fuck you,
hide and watch me.
fuck you, hillbilly Haster. Can't even say your name.
You abandoned the name your daddy gave you, King in Yellow. That ain't no name.
You show up to a ballroom, a ba- a a masked ball without a mask. How embarrassing!
I get more
Then we
followers. I get and kill more followers than you get changes of robes. I, I think Rod Sterling's funny better, but that's just a
but
glorious shit post.
just imagine,
He's
yeah,
affixing to holler.
the form known as Gunt, a gigantic pig-faced, large-bellied, rumbling creature, with darkened shades of skin patchmarked throughout its body, the smell of a
Old
foul
onions.
burning of old onion and a burning smell reaching from his lips. He
Also on
appears to
top
have
of that, also on
blackened eyes and a howl, um, which which pierces the mind with rage, bitterness, and anguish.
sometimes confused as being a spawn of Shub Niggurath. You can tell it's not though because it has the equivalent of the Memphis Micro.
Oh, at the bottom is a small gibbering thing that has not been feasted on for ages.
Let's see. I think the rest of this is mostly just stuff
Yeah.
you can find like
Yibsil, Yop. Yeah, the rest are these artifacts, because if
and
it's a
some of these
fantasy
are pretty
setting,
neat.
yeah, you can find stuff like that. New contact spells.
Yeah, you get new spells. It's pretty great.
Well, there is one I'm liking here on page 151. Explode Heart.
Oh yeah, you can just do that. By the way, for how spells work, again, Dreamland natives are much more used to magic, so in most cases, if you're casting a spell, take the lowest result that you can get for losing sanity. Because it's dream. Dreams, ignore that sort of thing. The Maws of Pandemonium. 1d8 total sanity points and takes 3 rounds to cast. If you overcome their magic points, the victim body sprouts red lips mouths with gibber and moan, which drains the magic points at a rate of 1 per minute. So you just give them mouths. Raise corpses, where you can just bring people from the dead as zombies. The spell that was lost with Ib. This costs 24 magic points, 1d10 sanity, and takes 2 rounds to cast. Match the 24 magic points against the target's power on the resistance table. If you succeed, you turn into a spider of size equal to the original size. All of its legs broken. These are some fucked up spells, and I kind of like the direction we're going with here.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah, this is really cool. This is like the back half where there's a lot of weird shit, and then there's the adventures, which
Uh,
we can
yeah, they're adventures.
we can call it here because I do
Yeah.
recommend getting this book. I like where it went. It's a bit dry because it tries to info dump you everything, which I think is a
But
bit of a negative towards it.
I think that should be the point of this. It's an adventure book and a source book all in one.
It's a big source book, and there's a lot of adventures. I will say that if you like Call of Cthulhu and you want to do something really fucking different with it, I strongly recommend this book.
I do have a fun idea of you're running Delta Green, and actually, no, kidnapping scenario. It's the thing in the you know, the thing that dwells in the dreams. Basically, is kidnapping people, and then your government agents stumble onto what is the equivalent of the Care Bears universe.
You're saying that, but I would have gone with the more funny idea of originally you're going to try to bust what you think might be, since it's Delta Green, you're going in to bust what you think is just a Karateka summoning, like a Karateka
Hmm.
organization using like dark rituals and gathering weird items that you need to stop. And then it turns into a high fantasy crazy bullshit, which culminates in you having to fight one of the freaking deathly because they are trying to essentially reach Agartha to become immortal, the Karateka.
And you're helped by the king and the old British man. This British man just shows up with a long sword and beats the shit out of a sorcerer.
Beats the shit out of this like 80-year-old Nazi sorcerer who's trying to find immortality by going to the Dreamlands. Which you could do some really fun, weird, like you can really throw a curveball with this, and I think that's pretty cool. It
Or hell, yeah,
also it also is just, I think in a way it kind of gives you something, a very different niche. I can see why it's really hard to get someone interested in doing a Dream Cycle campaign.
because it is just so
It's not what you want
so
when you usually play Call of Cthulhu. Let's be
yeah,
blunt.
so out of place from what you can even think of Call of Cthulhu.
Because it has more in common to do with stuff like Conan, and a lot more in common to do with things like RuneQuest. Because it does. Like magic is much more
Actually,
regular,
that's
usable.
probably what I would actually use this for. If you want to do, because RuneQuest mainly has a lot of like combat ritual stuff like that. But if you want to do, I want RuneQuest, but I want an investigative RuneQuest. This would be it.
Well, you play RuneQuest because you want the
Oh,
setting, dude.
well, if you want that high fantasy feel, but you want it to be an investigative game where you're maybe looking through ruins or trying to uncover some mystical
You're
artifact,
saying
there
that,
you
but
go.
that's literally like the most common ways you can play RuneQuest because there's a lot, especially if you're playing in Pavis.
You're right. Also from Angel. So your Delta Green agent needs a cat.
Yeah, your cat can
That
leap
would be
through
interesting.
space to join you.
Yeah, you bring your cat in the dream, and it's like you can fly.
Always could. And it talks to you too. It speaks to you
Yeah.
directly. Always could.
Oh wait, no, that got an idea. You're raiding the Nazi warehouse, and then the army of cats appear and murder the neo Nazis.
You could do that, and then you have to chase these killer cats because you don't know what they're doing, why they're here, and then you just wake up in like one of the random cities, and you have to figure out why the hell that was a thing, and then you have to talk to the cats, and you find out that it's either Karateka or, well, it'd have to be Karateka, that the Karateka have a base and are working with the evil Serpent Man. They're trying to reach Kadath.
Or again, going with the idea of um, basically agents of the King in Yellow. have infiltrated Delta Green, not to destroy them, but to again get the finest members of the Department of Justice
No, no, you're saying this, but what I'm
to,
envisioning, okay,
well,
hear
no,
me out. Because you kept depicting him as Rod Sterling, what happens is your Delta Green, you start with the Delta Green scenario, you have them run into a guy who looks disturbingly like Rod Sterling, and he just starts narrating to the players. This unit was sent on what they thought was to be a routine mission in a world strange and beyond the normal kin of men. However, after a series of stress and events beyond their control, they find themselves in an interesting dimension, a place where time, meaning, and significance of symbols becomes blurred.
Mhm.
The idea of places rather than true actual areas that are. They have stumbled into the dreamlands. Just fuck
Dun,
with
dun,
them that way.
dun. But then at the end, again, because the whole thing is basically the King Yellow is again trying to get Nyarlathotep served. Their handler gave them a series of documents, and they're literally told, "You will go to this place, and you will just give this guy the documents."
You're saying that? I'm just envisioning you do this
Upon
during
upon which
impossible
the
landscapes.
yeah,
Like it's during
upon
the
which
impossible landscape arcs, you go through the night rooms and then you randomly find a staircase downward. There's a guy there that just there's just a guy there like a dude in a mask. He just hands you quietly this sheet of paper and then doesn't say anything and walks away.
but but then when you're trying to give it, Rod Serling again shows up and says, "When dealing with the impossible, it's always to remember that it is impossible. When somebody tries to, oh, say, manipulate others in order to solve a ridiculous case of copyright infringement, always remember you cannot do it to somebody who really has no fixed address, such as the one in the Dreamlands."
Yeah.
It's just a long running. Oh,
Oh no,
but then
here's the thing. If you try to give it to the Rod Sterling version of Nyarlathotep, he actually doesn't take them, and not only that, it doesn't work. Even if he grabs it and he just laughs and then just throws it back at you. You have to give it to the thing in the yellow masks, which means you have to go to the Neanderthals to find out how to do it.
you're just breaking into the ritual. It's like, sir, we have the papers.
And then finally, for the first time, no, instead of Rod Sterling, it's the mutated pile of like horror that's his half brother in Rod Sterling's suit. He appears and starts
It's like,
screaming at you. I mean, you don't have to go this silly. It's just I really
I,
do like the idea. The
but
Dreamlands kind of hits a nice niche that you don't otherwise
it,
get.
and I'm gonna be honest, if you have a long-term campaign or a lot of people throw this at them, they will think this isn't Lovecraft, and then you show them it is. This is a part of the Lovecraftian mythos, and it is wild and crazy, but then again, so is the idea of a eldritch deity lying dead, dreaming underwater.
I could just envision. Okay, so this is where I'd probably say use the dream cycle. Have them survive like one or two shorter scenarios as the keeper, and then have it be first that you think that it's because of their lowered sanity that they're just experiencing nightmares, like weird dreams and portents and nightmares. Like throw it out like throughout like the second module, and then have it culminate in them all having the same fucking dream, where they're on an unwashed pier as a white ship comes to visit the docks, and they feel a
And the
compulsion to walk on it.
yeah, and the other thing is that I feel like you also could maybe do this as like a sort of a breather moment in a campaign.
Uh,
Like
or a
the
way to change
Dreamlands,
track.
there is a bit of a fantastical and almost like a non-serious or just a non like nightmarish element to it. There can be, but you could literally be like helping out some cat or a sorcerer just handle his, you know, just shopkeeping duties or
You run
and then
into the
doing
crazy merchant, and through his
yeah.
fault, he says, "I need good customers and assistants. Yes, what?
You get some yeah,
You,
you get some
my shipment has gone missing, and I need it for another customer. In exchange, I will give you," and then you give them a thing that they're looking for, or at least you show it,
ah
because he has everything that a person needs. Remember, that's the gimmick of this crazy merchant.
yeah.
So you have to go on a wild, wacky quest on a Marco Polo style adventure.
Or like let's say if you want them to have a little bit more sanity, maybe do that. Maybe show them what was it? The place of hope as like a brief glimpse of it. Of like, oh, there is something positive to fight for. And then of course cruelly take it away from them.
No, no, and then I think at that point some of them would just say screw it and their brains break.
Well, no, it's more like later on you realize that there's that creeping beast. But you give them that hope and then over time slowly break it down.
And this also, if you after you do a couple adventures in the Dreamland, you could have them get haunted by the cats of Saturn, which followed them back.
Ooh.
Like I said, I actually like this book quite a bit. I never really had much of a chance to read the Dream Cycle, and this is just it feels really wrong for a Lovecraft book, but I kind of vibe with it.
It still keeps that Lovecraft vibe. And it's more also the way things are written, its
They describe
descriptions,
it
the kinds
literally
of
as
creatures.
Dunsanian, vivid colors that represent the good parts of the dreamland and bold, brassy colors of red, gold, purple, lovely, warm, luminous colors. And for the horrors to be illuminated by night, the cold weather of grays, blues, pale greens, and dull red balefires.
And that is something to note as well. It's appropriate. If you're going to be describing it, you don't describe it as like here you see a fantasy city. Describe it in the emerald colors,
A city of
glistening
glittering
spires.
emeralds. A city of glittering emeralds. Done in the style of Moorish Spain at its peak. Great arabesques mark the walls, indicating scintillating figures that descend from the skies, speaking to what seems to be people. The streets are opalescent, made of luminous, glowing stone. You go nuts. You have to go nuts.
Hmm.
I like this book. I like this book. I would probably rate it. It's pretty dense, but I'd still rate it a pretty solid, decent lower good. Lower good. Lower good sounds right.
Yeah, I think so.
And like I said, feel free. I did link it where you can get a copy of this directly from Chaosium because I didn't want to show off the adventures because A, we were getting on in time, and B, it kind of spoils a lot if you do that. And in most cases with Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green, it's one of the reasons we don't really cover it as much as we kind of want to. It's a bitch to not spoil this stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of thing
we're
you got to
never
explore for
going to
yourself.
cover impossible landscapes for that reason.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
great adventure, but if you read it, it's spoiled.
yes, it very much is. But don't worry. I mean, we're all there, so and we'll all play it eventually.
You'll all make it to the ballroom eventually. So I think this is a good introduction back into the world of Lovecraft because the last time we covered a Call of Cthulhu book, it was just standard schlock horror. It was a weird module called Blood Brothers. This is kind of proper Lovecraft, at least to a degree, if not what you expected. As for next week, I don't know what we'll cover.
Um, I'd say you probably have a grab bag of horse stuff. Maybe put it up for a poll.
I have less than you think because a lot of the thing is the reason I don't do as many grab bags as I'd want. A lot of the books are either a little too long to kind of do in a grab bag where you get like a couple, or they're just kind of boring. If I had to think about it, we'll think about it. I'm thinking we could probably do since it's Halloween month, Spook month, probably something else from the World of Darkness. We haven't really touched anything. We haven't really touched a lot of vampire in a long time, for example.
You know what? I might not be might be too dark, but what about cult
I don't even remember what cult is, so that's probably a no.
or one of the other horror themed RPGs?
Yeah, possibly. We'll think of something. We'll definitely think of
But
something.
everyone, have a nice dream. Have a good night.
And if Rod
Hopefully, we'll
Sterling
see you in the
appears,
dreamland.
and if Rod Sterling appears saying don't give him papers, you have to give him the papers now, please, please. Night, y'all.